Hey, aloha!
What was that diabolical laugh for?
Bruha! Well, we have another squash gourd item, somewhat unidentified variety species name, but we got this from out of our garden. We are retooling the garden and cleaning out the area to make a new fence right now. So we had let it overgrow in there, and we're rescuing the plants we want to save. So here it is. We don't know the name of it, but it's a beautiful gourd, and it just might end up in the stew today. Huzzah! Tiff and Stan launching into a compost pumpkin. Actually, it's just Tiff, but Stan is supervising in the sack.
At a safe distance.
Oh my God! Look at that. This is among the first 4 or 5 pumpkins this year that we've harvested. Volunteer pumpkin vines near our compost pile. Oh, Tiff and Stan has hacked it open with majesty and authority. Look at that.
What
High
I'm going
five.
to do...
Whoosh.
Gonna save their seeds, put them in the Vitamix.
Ooh, nice. Like she's gonna make a little milky. Tiffany scraping out the pumpkin. Look at that. This is so exciting. She is a half of our new chef team duo, the Nation of Tiff and Stan. And what is it that you're doing there? You're scraping out the seeds?
I'm scraping out the seeds from this pumpkin, and we are going to use it in the stew later. What we'll do is we'll blend it up into a milk, take a couple ladlefuls from the stew, blend it all up into some creamy pumpkin-y goodness, and reintroduce it to the meal that we have kicking.
Wow, so you're putting it straight into that turbo blender top.
Sounds crazy, but yeah.
Though there's the Vitamix base, I see it. So what do? You'll just actually fill that up with purified water and blend that and then strain it
Yeah.
through those nylon bags?
That's exactly what I plan to do.
Wow. Man, you are so wise.
Okay, so we have our pumpkins chunked, and we've got our seeds in the Vitamix. And now we are going to slice 1 bulb of this garlic paper thin so we can put it in some coconut oil, and we'll get this party started. Word of no name.
Look, there's Tiff. Having a tiff with the garlic. Getting all tiffy with it. Get tiffy with it.
Okay, and the garlic is starting to get nice and brown. Now, and I'm going to just start to add our beautiful pumpkin. And I found my spoon.
Pumpkin milk. Fresh pumpkin seeds and pulp.
So what I've done is I have taken all of this really, really beautiful stuff and put it in here.
Oh.
And then I ground anything out of it.
Ooh.
And so now what I'm going to do is strain it.
There's the pumpkin milk.
We're going to put it through this strainer, which is actually a paint strainer from Home Depot.
Yay.
And...
Hope we're getting a commission from saying that.
oh yeah.
Or at least you are. You can buy one of those fancy new aprons with your Home Depot commissions. Oh, there's another one. Cha-ching!
We'll get paid in paint strainers.
So, cameraman has clean hands. I'm just going to reach over there and demonstrate another technique that we do is sometimes actually from the middle and bottom of it, squeeze it through like your thumb to your fingers, but without having this whole thing tight. So you just let the thing move around and squeeze it. And that way it doesn't fly anywhere and it doesn't have too much pressure on it. See that? And then as you're going, you can take the whole thing, hold this, and, whoops, I'm not filming it anymore. Haha. Spin it around, and then, see how you can gauge the pressure there? Go ahead and try that. Ha ha ha. We're fornicating with the milk factory. The Cozmic Milk Factory. Tiffany is a way to make awesome, perfect quinoa every time and have it come up fluffy and yummy, huh?
Yeah.
Wow! Wait, oh, look at that. What a technique. So she mixed it up gently in the blender with the kind of the variable speed dial to stir it in a new age way with the hydrogen peroxide, poured the blender contents into the strainer, and she just rinsed all that off really thoroughly with water. Perfect. So this, here is that quinoa that we rinsed. Just adding it to the beautiful stainless steel pan here. Gentle little tap. Yay! Wow, looks like she just pureed up some beautiful ripe tomatoes in a little water, just plain, right?
There was actually a little bit of the pumpkin milk I had left.
Ooh, wow. So some of that pumpkin milk that you had made, that we videoed with the fresh pumpkin seed pulp. Wow. So you blended that with tomatoes.
With tomatoes.
And you added that in there. So now you've actually got coconut milk. No, pumpkin seed milk.
Pumpkin seed milk.
The pumpkin milk and pumpkin tomato bisque broth, kind of, that you just blended. Wow. So the garlic that you sauteed in the very beginning is just going to melt into that liquid, and the pumpkin's going to get super duper soft.
That's the plan.
Wow. Wow, she's getting it filled to the brim, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Couldn't waste that pumpkin, Stanley chopped.
Okay. So really, if you just go right close to having it in a line and then turn it slightly to the right, you put these things right over each part. Not in between, but right over, and it slides right down. So I'll do that again. Here's the lid. You come up. You see these sections? Here's the section here. You put it really straight over it, and it will fall an inch down all the way across, and then you simply just whoop, slide it over. Turn the top dial to the top, which is building the pressure, and put this up. Now make sure, I've already adjusted this, but instead of being on really high, it's on like medium, medium high. Boom, done. Okay. Oh, here, get this, just adding the water. Here we are adding water to the quinoa. Yay.
Namaste.
Alright, here we have some pumpkin seeds. These are not from the pumpkins that we grew here, but they could be. They're a different kind of pumpkin. But we got these dried and we have rehydrated them. We're going to do a little kind of a pate. So it's soaked overnight and rinsed thoroughly. We're always rinsing these things in the tropics too. We soak it, we rinse it 3 times before we leave it soak, and we rinse it 3 times with hydrogen peroxide before it's even soaking. So it's kind of, we're always preventing any sort of virus or mold or anything.
You're on.
So here's a little bit of the pumpkin meat left over from the stew, raw. Or actually I'm going to chop that a little more. These are powerful machines, but sometimes it's about realizing, okay, this stuff is moist and it's going to blend very easily, and this is kind of a little more, slightly more tough to blend, so we're going to give it a head start by chopping it in smaller pieces instead of putting bigger pieces in and wondering why I didn't chop. We have some amazing greenhouse grown little mini orange sweet bell peppers. I'm leaving those little seeds and everything in there. So these don't have to be quite as small pieces because they're very water content. And we're going to use this for our pate. So we're making our little pumpkin pate. Pumpkin seed pate, which actually does have some orange pumpkin meat in it and orange bell pepper. Going to put a little bit of our Himalayan pink crystal salt in there. Just about a tablespoon and a quarter approximately. And a little pure water. Love water. 528 Tiffin stand frequencies. And we'll pulse that a little bit. See, the pulsing, it falls down with gravity in between and falls back on the blade. That's why we do that. So you can see the top, the water has fallen down, it's touching the blade, that's how the blade moves around, but the top doesn't have water in it yet, right? So by pulsing it, so it's now become one kind of texture and moisture level, and we can leave it on. So we'll come and put some of our spices in. This is dried basil. We can add that right in there. Approximately 2 tablespoons. Dried oregano. Again, about two tablespoons. And dried marjoram leaf, really awesome. This is similar to the Italian seasoning mixes that you buy on the market, but it doesn't have rosemary. I don't want rosemary. So sometimes I will do the tapping method, and there you have it. Pumpkin seed pate.
Cosmic.
Oh, okay, we're gonna finish this. Boom. Pate, I put a little more salt. I put some of these chives, and I'm actually gonna turn it on and add some coconut oil to it while it's blending. I can see that those chives weren't distributing themselves, so I'm gonna do two things. First, I'm gonna stir it into the bottom a little bit, closer to the blade, and then, whoops, okay, man overboard. That's gonna have to be compost. We're gonna turn it on. I'm gonna do the little kind of tapping. I put my hand underneath to protect the machine, and I gently just kind of tap it. And you can see the food being distributed. Now I add the oil right through this top part while it's blending. Boom. 3 tablespoons, maybe 4. There we go. So here we can see we're documenting our use of the green tea leaves and turmeric leaves. We wash with hydrogen peroxide, wipe them dry with a napkin, paper towel, or dry clean towel, and use it as the plate background, the plate covering. Take a nice plate or a tray, decorate it with the leaves, and then put our food items such as the cut in half wraps on top of it. Boom. Look at this. This is the food line at the Hawaiian Sanctuary. Huh. We are doing it good. There's the lunch table.